Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Dylan here. We have a major update today from Karoline Leavitt that you don't want to miss. She just came out and called out Democrats big time, and she's teaming up with President Trump. So we're going to dive into all of this, but before we do, we're going to read scripture and pray because God comes first. Amen? Comment amen if you believe that, truly believe that God comes first in your life. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will never leave you or forsake you. Amen. And remember that God is with you everywhere you go. Amen. My brothers and sisters, congratulations to everyone who has begun investing in the stock market. The stock market has been soaring under President Trump. Numbers that we have never seen before. If you want to begin investing, we have a totally free offer right now that we've never had before. I will leave the link below so you can sign up on your phone. Or if you watch this on your TV, you can just actually take out your phone and point it at the QR code through your camera app, and you can find the link there too. You don't need any money to get started and take advantage of this economic boom under President Trump. Okay, my friends, here we go. There's a new poll that found that very few Democrats are even proud to be Americans. Here's Karoline Leavitt. Let's listen in.
In her very first interview since her maternity leave, we're glad to have her back. She has a
Congratulations on your new baby, Karoline, by the way.
New baby girl. Our briefing with White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt. Want to talk about the baby or the algae? Where would you like to start?
Well, the baby is certainly much more enjoyable to talk about, Sean, but the algae is obviously the news of the day, and it is completely ridiculous. It's unbelievable to see these people, these deranged leftists, in algae costumes with Team Algae on their backs. What does that even mean? Only the Democrats could hate beautifying our nation's capital and making it a symbol of pride again. But this is what the American people elected President Trump to do. He made this promise to them on the campaign trail that he was going to make our nation's capital both safe and beautiful again, and it is a promise that he has kept. With respect to safety, violent crime has plummeted. The city is the safest it's been in generations. Murders are down 40%. And with respect to the beautification of the city, I live here working, of course, at the White House, and you can see it with your own eyes as you travel throughout the city. The homeless encampments are gone. You see the parks are cleaned up. The president has restored more than 120 monuments across the city. The National Park Service has used more than 150 tons of material to clean up the potholes that everybody hates. And I don't know about you and your audience, but this is the type of work that I want to see our tax dollars going towards, making our nation's capital and our nation's cities safe and beautiful again for not just tourists, but the residents who live here. This is a very real problem in the district. It has been for a while. President Trump is solving it. Leave it to the deranged Democrats to be against that.
All right, Karoline, any more details on the 5 people that have been arrested regarding vandalism here?
The vandalism is very real, despite what Tim Walz wants to say it's an imaginary problem. No, it is not. It's a very real problem. In fact, I spoke with the National Park Service just before joining the show. They now have 17 police reports that have been filed in just the matter of a few days. There's actually been 6 arrests at the Reflecting Pool, where, again, these deranged individuals, many of them longtime donors to the Democrat Party, to Barack Obama, to Act Blue, that have been vandalizing and desecrating our federal monument, one of the most beautiful monuments in the world, the Reflecting Pool. And that's why President Trump is not going to stop with this effort. We're going to not only hold those people accountable, but we're going to fix the pool, continue to make it beautiful from this despicable vandalism just in time to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday next week.
Okay, so I'm arguing that we are in uncharted waters in terms of a midterm election. What I mean by that is, you know, El Sayed out there campaigning with Hassan Piker, who blamed America for 9/11. Then you have the whole Mr. Nazi tattoo, Graham Plattner. Then you have six-gender, God is non-binary, Tallarico. Then you've got Bernie Sanders, you got Pocahontas, you got Mamdani, you got AOC, you got the Squad. And but for John Fetterman, not one Democrat will dare take on the radicalism that has never existed in this current form in that party. Now, Does the president, has he spoken about what he plans to do in terms of heading into these uncharted midterm elections coming up in November?
It's very clear what President Trump stands for because he's delivered on it. Secure borders, deporting the worst of the worst, violent, illegal alien murderers and rapists from our country, cutting taxes, which he did nearly 1 year ago. We're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of his historic One Big Beautiful Bill, the largest tax cut for working families and middle-class Americans in our nation's history. He'll be in Pennsylvania tomorrow, meeting with American workers who have been helped by his no tax on overtime that he promised and he signed into law, and his effective tariff policies that have brought jobs back to the United States, like at the Mack truck facility where he will be touring tomorrow in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. President Trump made promises to make America safer and more affordable. He is delivering on those promises, and just imagine what the Democrats would do if given the chance at power again. Just remember what they did to our country in 4 years of Joe Biden's tenure. They completely destroyed it with wide open borders. They want to raise your taxes. They want to raise inflation back to record highs. President Trump is recovering our economy from those detrimental days under President Biden. That's why Republicans need to retain control of this city so that President Trump can continue to have the support he needs to continue to govern for 2.5 years. Otherwise, Democrats are going to try to block and tackle. They'll be focused on ridiculous, ludicrous impeachment hearings and crazy stuff that don't serve the American public, just like they did in his first term when they were...
Yeah, so there's actually this reporter who was asking Trump about the pool vandalism, and he was basically saying, oh, that nobody vandalized the pool. Did you guys see that?
Are the contractors who did the initial work with the reflecting pool, are they to blame for the current condition, or is it the vandals that you mentioned?
You know, we have I think 290, 300 foot slit right through it, probably a box cutter or a knife of some kind. Or we had people lifting up the basic, it's not a lot of damage, but we'll probably have to let the water out and refix it. They went in there with a knife. I was just told by the people over at Parks, they have 5 people are arrested and 5 people are under investigation right now. And it's a sad thing. In addition to that, we put brand new, beautiful grass all around. They put these massive letters on the grass. You probably know about that, right? And they said 8647. They probably got that from the dirty cop, Comey.
Oh my gosh. So, wow, that's actually crazy. I didn't know that. They put 8647 on there too. That's crazy work.
You know he's a dirty cop, don't you? Dirty cop. He's a crooked guy. They destroyed the grass. So that's a big thing. But we're going to get it back very soon.
National Guard and police have been on all over the mall. How would these vandals have gotten so close to do something like that? Do you have any proof of this?
We didn't have a lot of them then. Who would think that somebody would go into a pool and take a knife and start cutting it?
Do you have proof of that?
Yeah, we have proof.
Photos or videos?
Well, let's put it this way. When you have a 350, I think it's 350, not 250, a 350-foot slit from one end to the other, you think that's proof? You think that's proof?
Reporters have been down there today looking for that slit that you mentioned, and there's no evidence of it.
All you'd have to do is see the Parks Department. They'll show it to you. See the secretary. But I saw it. They cut it. They cut it very violently. The same thing with the floor. They cut it. And then they lifted it. They pulled it. And that's what it is. And, we've done over 50 monuments. Number one, we start with, this is now a safe city. It's as safe a city as you're going to get in the country. And when I came here, it was a very dangerous city. And number two, what we did is the beautification with the parks and the grass and everything, removal of all the tents. And this is like a different place. One of the things we did is over 50 fountains and statues, most of which were in horrible shape. All of them were bad, but some were just absolutely horrible. Graffiti, you couldn't even see the stone. They've all been fixed. We also fixed the reflecting pool. In fact, if you go over there right now, it looks very good. It's up. Somebody said fertilizer in the water. If you put fertilizer in the water, you get algae. But somebody said they might have put fertilizer. They did something to create the algae, but that doesn't matter because that's been purified. It's dead. laying at the bottom. They're taking it out. They vacuum it out. They vacuum it very carefully out. You better go out and buy stock now. Let me tell you, this country will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before. Rising market will do. Oh, it's going to get a lot higher.
I've been investing heavily into the stock market. Right now, we have a completely free offer for you. If you want to start investing, if you want to join in on this economic boom of a lifetime, click the link below. Or you can now take out your phone and you can open up your camera app and scan this QR code, and it will pop up a link where you can download the app, and it is totally free. I'm not selling you on anything at all. This is just an app that I personally use. So you can scan that or click the link below to start investing. It's very beginner friendly. You can start with $5. You can even start with $1. So get signed up in a couple minutes. Your future self will thank you. That's crazy. So people are literally vandalizing federal property.
We're giving the keys back to Capitol Hill. We can't let it happen.
Let me ask one Iran question, because I've talked to the president privately. I've talked to him in interviews. He's made this statement publicly many times that he's in no rush as it relates to Iran. So my question is, if the Iranians, if it's impossible for them for the foreseeable future, 5, 10 years away, to ever reconstitute their nuclear program, I don't see that the president needs to be in a rush. Last time I checked today, the price of a barrel of oil was $73. At one point, it was 126. And the president does have to walk and chew gum and manage the economy and keep the world safe and secure at the same time. So I think I understand what he's saying when he says time is on our side.
Yes, absolutely, Sean. And don't forget that President Trump has been implementing good economic policy for the year and a half he's been in office. He's slashing regulation. He's cutting taxes. He is unleashing American energy dominance, which did bring down the gas and oil prices in this country. Of course, he's been upfront with the American people and recognizing what's going on with Iran has been a short, temporary disruption. But, however, as the memorandum of understanding was recently signed, we have seen oil prices fall, just as President Trump said that they would, and they will. They will fall back to the levels they were before Iran began. But it's very important to our nation, our national security, and the American people that the rogue Iranian regime was never allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon. President Trump has been very clear about that for decades. Anyone who voted for him understands that. And so now we're in this 60-day negotiating period at the direction of the president, headed up by the Vice President, Special Envoy Witkoff, Jared Kushner. Trust in them. This is a team who made the impossible possible with respect to bringing the hostages home from Gaza. Nobody thought that could happen. It happened under the president, the vice president, and the national security team's leadership. So they'll continue to negotiate, ensure that we have a final deal that meets the needs of the American people in our country. President Trump, I know, will never sign on to a deal that does not serve this country and our national security interests. He is always looking out for America first.
And the vice president mentioned the IAEA, but the president's been very clear that American eyes will need to be on any project to either remove the dust, the nuclear dust, or degrade it. Is that stand as well?
That's right. It is ludicrous to assume that President Trump would ever sign on to a deal that compares in any way, shape, or form to the disastrous JCPOA that Barack Hussein Obama signed on to. They gave the Iranian regime pallets of cash. This deal is going to ensure that it benefits not just America's national security interests, but the American people as well. President Trump will make sure of it.
And not one American tax dollar, and they only get money or have the ability to get their money back if they do X, Y, and Z.
Wow, so what do you guys think about that? And this was actually the moment where Karoline Leavitt just totally ripped that same reporter who was asking Trump about the pool.
I have two questions for
Sure.
you. About Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the administration's decided to appeal a judge's ruling that in essence was trying to put the slavery displays back, arguing that the federal government believed it had the power to disassemble and disassemble historical truths when it has some domain over historical facts. The judge said it does not. The administration said that you were planning to put up updated interpretive materials and provide a fuller account of the history of slavery at Independence Hall. What more was the administration, or is the administration, planning to add?
I'm not familiar with this specific instance, Ed, to be honest with you, but I will check in with the appropriate people who are overseeing this, and we'll get you a more firm answer.
One other question then. Yesterday in his statement about Jesse Jackson, the president said, despite the fact that I'm falsely and consistently called a racist by the scoundrels and lunatics on the radical left, Democrats all, it was always my pleasure to help Jesse along the way. Where or when does the president believe he's been falsely called racist?
You're kidding, right?
No.
I will pull you plethora of examples. I'm going to get my team in that room to start going through the internet of radical Democrats throughout the years, Ed, who have accused this president falsely of being a racist. And I'm sure there's many people in this room and on network television across the country who have accused him of the same. In fact, I know that because I've seen it with my own eyes. And the president very much looks forward to having an event later this afternoon at 3 p.m. to celebrate Black History Month and to talk about how his policies are advancing opportunity and prosperity for all Americans through record tax cuts, through the Trump accounts that all Americans can access regardless of race. These are a great thing for the next generation of Americans. The president has also awarded hundreds of millions of dollars in additional funding to strengthen educational outcomes at historically Black colleges and universities across the country. Again, the president is protecting the hard-earned benefits of the 2.4 million Black veterans who honorably served in our nation's armed forces by reducing the Black backlog of veterans waiting for their VA benefits and for their home loans through the Department of Veterans Affairs. So there is a lot this president has done for all Americans regardless of race, and he has absolutely been falsely called and smeared as a racist, and I am happy to provide you those receipts, and we gladly will right after this briefing. Jennifer, go ahead.
Wow, that is insane, guys. So she literally is calling on that reporter big time. Let's take a listen now to Karoline Leavitt, guys.
Bring in White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt. Karoline, thanks so much for joining us with a preview of the State of the Union. How does the president message, okay, things are better, things were broken when I got into office, I fixed a lot of things, but there's still some growth to do?
Well, you're going to hear President Trump tackle that message head on tonight, and I know he's greatly looking forward to addressing the nation. His speech is going to be a celebration of the 250th year of America's independence. He is going to share the stories of great American heroes who exemplify bravery and the spirit of 1776. And the president is, of course, going to tout his administration's record-setting accomplishments over the past year while laying out an ambitious agenda to continue making the American dream more attainable and affordable for working class people across the country. It's going to be a great speech. There will be some tear-jerking moments, as there was last year, in addition to some moments of levity. And so we hope everybody will tune in.
Yeah, Karoline, what can we expect as far as people in the audience? Because I know every year we see someone special sitting next to the First Lady, and then the president.
Oh, this was the State of the Union address.
The CIA evidently aiding the Mexican government in taking down a key drug kingpin whose specialty was fentanyl to America. So we all should be applauding this. But American tourists right now stuck in Mexico, here's some of what they're saying.
The day before, everybody was telling us how safe Puerto Vallarta is and how this area was really safe. So it's just, I think, an unfortunate turn of events that apparently a part of Mexico that folks thought was very safe.
Across the street is a gas station, and there's cars parked sideways throughout the road. There's about 6 cars on the road, 4 cars in the road and 2 cars next to the road in the parking lot, and they were all on fire.
You're seeing a war zone behind you, and we've got people come back to the hotel before all this happened saying, do not go out. There's cars on fire, so right then, hey, I'm not leaving. I'm stuck here. And there's no way out. They closed the airport. So we're stuck.
Karoline, and a cover of the New York Post, War in Paradise. This is all new. It's breaking in 24 hours. What can you tell those people? Can we get them out?
Secretary Rubio and the State Department are absolutely on it. We hear from Americans directly who are in Mexico because the State Department immediately set up 24/7 phone lines, and they're taking hundreds of calls a day, providing Americans on the ground with travel support and advice. The State Department also has issued new travel advisories, and they'll continue to update those as the situation progresses. So we encourage all Americans in Mexico to, of course, adhere to the guidance provided by the State Department. Right now, we are unaware of any reports of any Americans being hurt, kidnapped, or killed, and the Mexican drug cartels know not to lay a finger on a single American, or they will pay severe consequences under this president. And they already are. This operation, which was carried out successfully by the Mexican authorities, was, of course, supported by the United States, would not have happened without the leadership of President Trump. He has made it a day one priority to target and go after these vicious drug cartels that have shipped deadly poison to our country for far too long. He signed an executive order to rightfully designate them as foreign terrorist organizations. We've seen the president take unilateral lethal action against drug boats sailing through the Caribbean. And now, of course, we are coordinating and cooperating and pushing the Mexican government to do more to end the scourge of deadly drugs coming through our United States southern border, which, of course, is now secure thanks to President Trump as well.
Yeah, Karoline, I don't think y'all have seen any snow. I don't see any behind you.
Yeah, do you guys believe that the America is safer now? Do you guys believe that? Look at this. Karoline Leavitt says people will be in handcuffs. That's crazy.
Welcome back. Right now, Health and Human Services pausing its annual $185 million child care payments to Minnesota because this massive fraud investigation is growing.
But Governor Tim Walz still pointing blame at everyone else, posting, quote, "This is Trump's long game. We've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along. He's politicizing the issue to defund programs that help Minnesotans."
White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt joining us now. Karoline, thank you for being here. Happy New Year's Eve. Let's jump in right now with Governor Walz blasting President Trump and the Trump administration, saying that this is all about politicizing this massive fraud that keeps growing that we are learning about. You see, that is what you saw from Governor Walz, saying this is Trump's long game. We've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along. Your reaction?
Governor Walz is completely incompetent. He always has been, and President Trump has long called him out for his incompetence and his poor leadership in the great state of Minnesota. I want to commend Nick Shirley for his incredible video in Real Journalism that went viral this past week. He epitomizes what new media looks like, and that's exactly why we at the White House, under President Trump's direction, have embraced new media journalists like Nick Shirley. We've welcomed them in to the White House press pool. We invited Nick Shirley to brief the President of the United States at an Antifa roundtable earlier this year. And this fraud in Governor Walz's state in Minnesota is something the Trump administration has been working on since day one. And since Nick Shirley's journalism really brought this issue further to light, we have surged resources across the board to the state. So I want your audience to understand this is a top priority for the administration. The Department of Justice, as we speak, is continuing to execute search warrants and subpoenas. People will be in handcuffs as a result of the fraud that Governor Walz has allowed to occur for many, many years. The Department of Homeland Security is conducting door-to-door investigations on the ground at potential fraud sites, and they are also, of course, conducting continued deportations of illegal aliens in Minnesota's communities. We're also not afraid to use denaturalization. That's a tool at the President and the Secretary of State's disposal, and it's one this administration has previously used before. I know the Health and Human Services Department has also announced we are cutting off all child care funding to the state of Minnesota until we get to the bottom of this fraud. The Department of Labor is investigating their unemployment insurance program. The Department of USDA Agriculture Secretary Rollins weeks ago sent a letter to Governor Walz demanding he turn over every single name of SNAP recipients on the books in Minnesota. And the Minnesota Attorney General actually sued the Trump administration for that. What are they hiding? Our entire administration is working around the clock to get to the bottom of it, and President Trump is not going to let Governor Walz off the hook.
So, Caroline,
wow. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Walz will be held accountable for this? That's crazy work. Now, President Trump just came out to address the nation. Let's listen in.
The markets are going to boom, the stock is going to boom, the country is going to boom, and the rest of the world wants to see, is there any way they can make a deal? They've taken advantage of us for many, many years. For many years, we've been at the wrong side of the ball, and I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be unbelievable. The thing that people have to talk about, we're up almost to $7 trillion of investment coming into our country. And you'll see how it's going to turn out. Our country's going to boom.
President Trump says our country and the market is going to boom. If you want to learn how to begin investing, we have a totally free offer right now. You can click the link below, or if you're watching this on your TV, you can take out your phone and scan that QR code. Just download the app. It's totally free to get started. It's never too late, and who knows, maybe you can even learn so you can help your children or your grandchildren as well. I believe this is the best time to start investing while Trump is president, because he's the best leader, and the stock market has been hitting record numbers under his leadership. So don't let this opportunity pass you by. Take it as your sign. It's totally free, and I break it down easy for you. I even have a free tutorial that I created just for you. It's all in the description box or pinned in the comments.